everyone,
Hello!
and welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony, and we are here to figure out what is happening in the world of our brains.
Dreams.
Dreams, perchance?
Perchance. Little dream, little cheeky dream.
It reminds me, I saw this thing the other day that was like how I talk when I am watching Bridgerton, and it was just this person being like, make haste, pray. He has a pleasing countenance.
Full Urianger.
Yeah. That's how I wish we talked, because I listen to, well, I read and listen and watch so much Jane Austen stuff. And I'm always like, oh, I wish we spoke like that still. It sounds so, like, it just feels like everything you're saying is so much fancier when you talk like that.
Have you ever watched much Dropout?
No.
No, there's an episode that I'll have to send you. It's not quite Jane Austen, but they did an episode basically. I can't remember if it was Game Changer or Make Some Noise, but basically they're both game shows that they do. I think it was Make Some Noise. And they got 3 improv guys on that specifically do Shakespeare improv.
Oh.
And they basically did an entire play with prompts. Like, so the first prompt was like, our main lead is in the gardens and they are pining for their love and stuff like that. And then they just burst into song, and it was incredible. I'll have to show it to you. Oh my god, it is just the most impressive thing I've ever seen. You will love it.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
I love improv stuff. I used to like, back when I did drama at school, I used to love improv. And do you know what? I actually looked into getting into an improv group.
Really?
And I was all set to go to one for the first time. The year was 2020.
Oh no.
I'll leave you to guess what happened. Turns out life had a little improv of its own.
I can totally see it. Like, when we did that little bit of Pathfinder with you, like, as soon as you started introducing your character, I was like, damn, she knows what she's doing.
I love it so much. Like, even, like, my proudest moment in drama at school was where I made someone jump so much that they fell off their chair. And I was like,
Oh my god.
the power. But I love, have you ever watched like Middleditch and Schwartz?
No.
It's like, what are their names? It's Ben Schwartz and Tom Middleditch.
Okay.
And you might recognize, did you ever watch what's it called? The Parks and Rec?
I actually never watched Parks and Rec. I get a lot of flack for it, but I've never watched Parks and Rec.
Have you ever seen...
Do you want me to Google the actors so I can recognise them?
Yeah, you might recognise them. Apparently Tom Middleditch is actually like a Yogscast fan. Apparently whilst they were recording Silicon Valley, he would be watching like old Minecraft videos on his phone or something. I don't know how true this is. Maybe he's listening right now.
From the Sonic movie.
Yes, that would be a better way to your heart. Now I think about it.
And then Tom Middleditch. I don't recognise either of them. I'm so sorry, but
oh, that's okay. But they did like I think
I've
there's
probably seen things
only
they were in.
like 3-part or something improv show on Netflix, I want to say.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, it's so funny. And it's one of those things that I will quote it every now and then. And you know when you're like, what is that from? And I'll be like, oh, it's from that. There's like a bit where someone accidentally murders someone and they're just like, what do you have to say for yourself? And they're just like, oopsie doopsie. And I say oopsie doopsie so much when something goes wrong. I'm just like, oopsie doopsie. But yeah, it's good. I've forgotten how we got onto this already. We're 5 minutes in.
Improv.
And
I don't know how we got to improv.
we've already gone on a big
forgot.
tangent.
Tangent.
I had a thing the other day, back to dreams, where I had a dream, and at the end of it, all I remember is I was cat sitting, And I don't remember whose house it was or whose cat, but at the end, the longest johns turned up and I was like, oh my God. And then I woke up and I wanted to hang out with them. So I went back to sleep and I actually did get to see them again.
Ah, yay!
It's rare that it works,
Oh
but
my gosh.
it did actually work. We're in a completely different setting. We're at like an award ceremony and they were getting an award and I was in the bathroom. And I was like, okay, we're at an award ceremony. And I was so aware that I was in a dream. And I was like, I'm in a dream. I can wear whatever I want and I can feel good and I won't feel self-conscious because it's a dream and no one else is going to know about this. And I kept on trying to put myself in nice dresses. But I kept on being naked because it's me. And I'd be like, this is inappropriate. And then I'd look down and be like, come on, think dress. And then I'd put on a dress and then I'd be like, nope, naked again. But I think I eventually did get to be in a dress.
Well,
Hopefully.
I had a dream about you the other day.
Was I naked?
You weren't naked. You were in pajamas. I can't remember exactly what happened. The reason I've not been recording my dreams lately is because, again, they've just been all over the place. Like, they feel really, like, vibrant and intense, but then as soon as I wake up, they just fall out of my brain. Especially if I, like, check my phone as soon as I wake up. It's like, oh, what's on the phone? Oh, dream's gone. But in this dream, I remember I went to some sort of shop. I think, actually, the dream started with being on a train. We know what that means.
Yep.
But, yeah, it was like I was on a train with a few people and we were, like, train hopping, like traveling across the country sort of thing. But in some cases, it was literally train hopping. Like, I would hop onto the next train. And then at some point, I did it a little bit too late and I ended up on the wrong train. And, like, the rest of the people that were with me, whoever they were, veered off on a different direction. And I was like, oh, God, my bags were on that train. And I just jumped off of it. So I carried on this train. And then eventually, somehow, I ended up in a shop. And this shop had, I think it had, like, lots of nerd stuff. There was, like, I don't know, Final Fantasy stuff on the wall, like key rings and junk. And my parents were there shopping with a baby me, but not baby, but like a toddler me. Like me as a little toddler with my little curly afro. And then I just had a conversation with myself. I can't remember what like we were talking about, but it was like a nice conversation. It was just like, oh, you know, how's it going? I'm you, you're me.
Me when I'm me.
Me when I'm me. And yeah, that was really cute, but I can't remember what I was talking about. But then you were there. And as one of the pieces of merch they had on the wall is in Final Fantasy XIV, you can now get these like pajamas. You can buy or make them. And you can get chocobo pajamas, you can get plain pajamas, or you can get cactuar pajamas. And you had a pair of the cactuar ones on. And it was like, oh, I have these in the game. Like, oh, we should buy them. And you were wearing them. They're basically like green and they've got like stripes down them, but just very thin stripes. And then cactuar like going down. And then the buttons are little cactuars.
Aww.
And I was like, oh, yeah, we need to buy them. And as we were like walking around, I think like you had them on and it kind of became, oh, you've got them on, we may as well just walk out with them.
No.
But then at some point, I think as we left maybe, one of the legs of the pajamas was like ripped and I was like, oh, geez, you picked up a dodgy pair, like they're broken. But that's pretty much all I can remember. Like, it wasn't enough to just sit and record it. Like, I'm remembering more now than when I actually woke up. But yeah, that was a weird one. Like, it was nice. Like, we got you a nice pair of pajamas. I think I wanted to get myself some, but I don't know if I ever did. And I talked to myself.
When was this dream?
Probably a couple of days ago, 3-4 days ago.
Because before the recording we did on Tuesday, I went downstairs and I fixed my pajamas because they had a tear in them.
Really?
And I didn't tell you about that at all. So it's just
God.
weird being like, oh. Because I was like,
so
this is really bothering me. I'm just going to fix it now. You know, a stitch in time saves 9 or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I'll just fix it. But yeah, that's so weird.
Where was the tear?
There was one like right at the top and then one at the bottom of the leg that you'd like basically there'd been a tiny tear and then I'd accidentally, I think I wheeled my computer chair onto it and then stepped forward and it just ripped.
Which leg, can I ask?
The right leg.
I'm pretty sure it was the left leg in my dream. But that is where it was. It was like you had just one shorter leg that was all ripped in my dream. Oh my God.
It do be like that.
I am a little bit psychic. There we go. I gotta say.
That's so weird.
I'm pretty sure as well. I don't know if it was a part of the same dream, but I dreamt about a big open water. I don't know if the train was going through the water, and I know for a fact that I'm getting this mixed up with another dream I had that was like on a ship, but I just very, very vaguely remember having to travel through this water. I don't know if I ever brought it to the podcast. Like, you can tell me if it rings a bell, but there was another dream where I was on a ship. I think in that dream, originally it was a plane that crashed, then it became a ship, and it was just very, like, submechanophobia type of dream. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but, like, it was big vehicles in water and, like, going underwater, and, you know, like, there were sharks and icebergs that I had to, like, get on to not die, sort of thing. And then eventually I ended up on some sort of land. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, ages ago I had a dream where, like, a plane did that and, like, crashed into the water. But I'm fairly sure more recently with this train dream, at some point the train was also going through the water. It was just a big expanse of ocean, and it was horrible. And I'm pretty sure there were sharks.
Oh no!
But yeah, that happened.
I remember you having a dream where, like, the plane crashed into a bus.
Yeah, that was different. That was on my street. But this other dream I had, it was... Everybody in the comments as well, let us know if I have said this before. But this was a while ago, so I'm going to have to strain to remember it. But I was on a plane. I think I was, like, one of the only passengers on the plane. And then it crashed into the water. And I then tried to get onto, like, a big, like, freighter to get out of the water, and all the time we were trying to get back to, you know, where we were supposed to land. Like, it was I can't really remember any of it. I can't remember anything, but yeah, all I know is it was just a big open expanse, and I was really struggling to stay out of the water, and yeah, it was
anxiety.
It wasn't an inherently scary dream though. Like, it was more like, God, there's a lot of water.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah. My goodness.
I wonder, going back to your other dream, I wonder if meeting yourself when you were little and then me being there, I wonder if it's because on the previous episode we were talking about whether we ever would have met when we were little.
Yeah,
so I wonder
maybe.
if you're just thinking about, like, past, and then if I was there and interacting and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was just that.
Yeah, maybe.
But also Final Fantasy, because you're a nerd.
I like Final Fantasy. I'm almost at 4,000 hours. Please send help.
Oh my gosh. You've overtaken me in Dota.
Oh, my, what? Have I?
Yeah, I've only got 2,800 hours in Dota.
Oh my God. So according to Steam, I've got 3,981.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a good game.
So is Dota? Question mark. The big patch came out today. Sorry to date to the episode, but yeah, the big patch came out today, and I was just reading through, and I'm so sad. They've ruined my boy. They've nerfed my boy. There's always this thing when you're watching a tournament, like we did in Birmingham, and my favorite character was getting banned every match, and you're like, the nerf is coming. And they've, like, changed one of his abilities. They've nerfed every other ability, including his upgraded abilities, and I'm just like, oh,
well,
my
I'm
boy.
feeling that with Final Fantasy right now, because the next expansion's coming out at the end of June, and they're changing one of my main classes again.
Yeah.
Like, and they're changing like the thing that I really like about it. Like, everybody else is like, hell yeah, finally they're getting rid of that. And I'm like, no. Because basically for Astrologian, you draw cards and you give the cards to people to buff their attack.
Yeah.
And you want to draw them and get 3 different symbols from like the cards, and then you can press a button and you'll get a buff, basically, with the 3 separate symbols.
Yeah.
And people don't like how random that is, because it will draw a random symbol, like, every time. I love it. I love having a little mini game where I'm like, draw a card. Oh, that's not the symbol I want. I'll redraw that, or I'll give it to someone else anyway. Blah blah blah. And I just have a lovely time, like, just ignoring everyone else and drawing cards. And everyone's like, I hate how random this class is. I think they're gonna, blah blah blah. And I'm they're ruining it for me.
Aww.
Feels bad. But they changed it already. They change it every expansion pack. So yeah. Very cool. It feels bad. We can cry together.
Why must they change our games?
Why?
It's like they're also, I think they're adding a new character to Dota, who they announced a while ago.
There's that was it a puppet? No.
He's like a ringmaster.
Ringmaster, that's the one. That's the one.
And so that always throws a bit of like a spanner into the game, because it's like, how do you, like, everyone's figuring them out and figuring out counters, and they always make them really strong when they're first in the game, so it's always a nightmare. They're always picked every game. Always a nightmare until they sort of balance it and nerf them a bit. But yes, it's sort of exciting, but I'm also like, yeah, sad about my boy.
Oh,
because it happened before as well. Like, I used to main a character called Phantom Lancer, and then they changed him. He used to be more of like what they call rat Dota, where he would just be like chipping away at towers and then escaping and traveling somewhere else, and he was always annoying to lock down, whereas they just turned him into a bit more of like, I am big beefy boy, I hit hard. And I'm like, no, I want to be a little sneak thief and getting away and chipping away at your towers and annoying you all. And then I used to main a character called Treant, who his main ability at the start was that if he stood next to trees for 2 seconds, he would go invisible, because he would like blend into the trees. And they took it away, and I didn't read the patch notes.
No!
And I was stood next to the trees, and I was like, and then they killed me, and I was like, how could they possibly see me? And then I had to play the whole game. Like, you learn, like, okay, you get that like muscle memory of, I'm getting away. If I walk this tree route, I'll be invisible by the time I get to here. And then you're like, not anymore. I'm just a big tree stomping around.
Such a big thing to remove.
I know.
What the heck?
And now they've changed Disruptor. So instead of he has like a trap that's a big circle. And now they've turned it into a wall. And I'm like, what can I do with a wall?
Well, it's just a wall you can like throw up to like block people off.
Yeah, or like trap people in or block people off. But I'm I like my circle.
See, I always think of these in terms of Smite. So that's very much like Geb in Smite. And, no, not Geb, sorry, Ymir in Smite, not Geb. And that's sometimes you throw up the wall and you just like block off your own teammate and they just get decimated, and it's like, whoops, sorry.
I guess a bit like Mei in Overwatch.
I still have never played Overwatch. I completely missed that boat.
Yeah, apparently it's ruined now, so too late.
Too late. Never mind. I think I've said that before and people have just gone, that's impressive. Oh, thank you.
But it is one of those things that I've played Dota for 11 years, and changes have come and gone, and whatever it is now, I'm used to it. So I will get used to it again. But at the moment, I'm just like, change, hate it.
I hate change. Change sucks. Do you want to play Smite 2 with me when it comes out?
Well, I guess there are a lot of Greek gods in Smite. Maybe I would like it.
There's a lot of Greek gods in Smite, yeah.
Maybe I'd get on board.
The skins are so much better too. Like, whenever, like, Rythian, Xylos, Daltos, etc. are all looking through the Dota skins, I'm just like, they're all so boring. In Smite, you can be a magical girl. You can be a giant cat. You can be a big man made out of ice cream.
This is what Mark Humes always says. He's like, why is everyone in Dota so ugly?
Yeah,
He's like, why don't they just make them sexy? I'm like,
Sexy?
not every game has to be sexy, Mark.
Oh my god, Mark plays Smite. They're all sexy there.
So sexy.
Oh dear. Yeah, like we were looking, because there's that thing right now, right, where they vote on the community-made skins. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only ones that ever have fun skins are Techies and I was going to say Stitches. Not Stitches. What's his name?
Punch.
Punch. Yeah, it's basically Stitches, man.
Yeah, I always do that like translation. You get people like the Warcraft Dota people who will be like, Furion, go top. And you have to be like, Furion, Malfurion, Nature's Prophet, go top, okay. You just have that little translation in your head. It's like there are people who call Invoker Carl, and you just, there's like a language you have to learn.
Yeah, literally. Oh,
it's like, oh, bless her. My friend Natasha joined chat the other day when Alex and I were like in a Discord playing Dota, and she joined in and she was like, the things you are shouting, I could make so many sound bites out of them. Like there's a guy called Lion who his ultimate is called Finger of Death, but it's just like a burst damage thing. But Tash joined at the time when I'm just like, I don't even know if I should say what I'm going to say.
I can imagine what you said.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, what are you playing? I was like, Dota, it's Dota.
It's definitely Dota. Oh my god.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear. Well,
my goodness.
The dream I have brought for you today is over 6 minutes long.
Whoa, wow, you are. That's a big dream.
Big boy. I think I remember some of it, maybe. I don't know. I think it'll come back to me. It's quite recent. But it is huge.
That's a big dream.
So
a big dream.
Settle in, everyone. Get your duvet and your hot chocolate.
Go get a cup of tea.
Yeah. And settle in for my brain extravaganza.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that I could do magic, and I was showing Luke, and I was like, I can either freeze stuff or I can set fire to things that are meant to be set fire to, like matches or candles and stuff. And I froze, like I did a thing where I froze this door, like a big patch of a door, and it was my brother's door from his room in the house I grew up in. And then I was like, oh, and I'll show you a match. I was like, I'm not even sure if I can do this anymore. But I really concentrated, and I managed to get this like teeny tiny flame up on this candle. And then Luke came along and was like, have you done it? And it blew out. And then the dream jumped to, I think I was meeting The Rock, and he was telling me that he was like archiving a bunch of stuff in his house. And then I was in his house and I was just looking through it, and it was all like all these like footage that was shot when he was working as a wrestler, and just all these big boxes that were labelled and like signs people had held up in the crowd and stuff like that. And then I went outside, and there was a bunch of people being like, come on, we're going. And I was all of a sudden like a young boy, and it was my bar mitzvah, and I was smoking, and I was like my mum was really disappointed that I was running out on my own bar mitzvah. And I was like, sorry, Mum, I'm already grown up. I smoke and I can play piano. And then I just hit the keys of a piano and was just like just played a really stupid tune. And then I ran out. And then I was back to me again. And I was thinking like, I've never smoked. Why did I do that? I should quit now.
And there was like 3 cars full of people. And they were like, come on in, come on in. And I was like, okay, Mum, I'm just going to go and play one game. And she was like, just one? I was like, yeah. And I got in the car. I got to the car and Joe was like, have you ever played Apex before? And I was like, no, but I can make a game last a really long time. So I'll be out for ages. And then there was only one of the cars that had 2 seats in. So Alex and I got in that car. But just before we did, the person's like mum and little sister showed up. And whoever was driving was like, Mom. And I was like, oh, no, there's plenty of space. So like 9 of us are in this car. And we all drove off to the beach. And I immediately, as soon as we got to the beach, just like went away from everyone. I found this rock to lean on and I was just reading my book. And then it all was like nice and peaceful until someone came along and they were sort of like riding like a mini version of the a pretend dune worm like mechanical thing. They were riding along on it and they were making this noise and it was summoning all these like shoebill birds. And I was like, bloomin' heck, they're massive. And then all of a sudden Ben appeared and was like, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah. So we went to one side and Ben was like, look, I thought we were just going to turn up and be really chill and read at the beach, but everyone just wants to like drink and be a bit mad and it's just not my sort of scene. Are you okay if I talk to you about it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then out of nowhere, he was like, I did magic with the candles you bought me. And I was like, oh. And he was like, yeah, I made my shampoo bigger. I was like, oh, okay. You've got more shampoo. And then I was saying to Ben, like, why don't we just head off? Why don't we both just go home or just find somewhere quiet and read together on the beach or something? But I don't really remember what happened after that. So yeah. I just remembered another part of the dream in which there were these 2 like gangster, like Sopranos type guys. And one of them was like, I'm going to throw my kittens at you. I just bought some new kittens and I'm going to throw them at you till you tell me or something. And he opened up this little basket and it had bunnies in. And I was like, what? I guess technically they are kittens. And then the guy went away and I was like, excuse me, you do realise that you have bunnies and I should take the bunnies and look after them. I went to pick up the baby bunnies and I looked really closely and I was like, no, these are tiny sheep. They were just teeny tiny sheep. And I looked even closer at one of them and I was like, this is a tiny horse. And I was like, my guy, you have sheeps and horse? Why, you don't have cats at all? And yeah, I was just looking at, they were like the size of Syrian hamsters. It was so small. It was adorable. And the baby bunnies are just baby bunny size. But yes, I was trying to say I'll just take them. I'll look after them. Don't you worry, Mr. Gangster Man. Well, there you go. Bye-bye.
Don't you worry, Mr. Gangster Man.
Don't you worry.
I'll take the bunnies.
My favourite part was, you do realise you have bunnies and I should take them and look after them.
Yeah. You have a tiny horse, my guy.
Oh my gosh. Man, the brainy dream bingo, animals, celebrity, wrestling. Where's the piss?
In
Why
the
are you
sea. Yeah, I remember waking up and just being like, oh my gosh, I have to record this now. There was just so much. And even like literally finished the recording and then was like, oh my gosh, there was this whole other bit that I forgot. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long one for you. You tend to have like nice, short, concise dreams.
Yeah.
But bam, there they are. They're all there together.
Travelled all over the place.
I made some notes. When I was a young boy, I smoked and I had a bar mitzvah. I smoked and I played the piano.
It's just like, look at me play the piano. Blink, 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 blink.
I'm grown up. I smoke and I play the piano. Damn.
The weird thing was, I watched an episode of Frasier yesterday, and it was the episode in which Freddie, Frasier's son, has his bar mitzvah. But other than that, I have had no reason to think about bar mitzvahs.
Thing is, this dream was before that.
Yeah, this was like how many days? Like 4 days ago. So I don't know why. And I remember the next day I had a dream about Ben as well. He made like 2 appearances, but I don't remember what the second one was. But he looked so sad in this one. He just turned up looking really sad. And I was like, it's okay, Ben. We can just... He was like, everyone's partying and I don't like it.
Relatable.
Tea.
Aw. Yeah, there was so much to it. Like, and so many animals too. You always dream about animals.
Yeah.
You got all your shoebills. And all your tiny horses.
To be fair, shoebills are quite intimidating.
They're very intimidating, yeah.
And they make a noise. They sound like machine guns, don't they?
Do they? Hang on, I'm going to look up a shoebill. Shoebill. What would you call it? A sound? I was going to say like a bird call, but it's... Yeah, they do sound like machine guns.
It's really... Like, if you heard that coming towards you, you'd be terrified. But how
See, they are quite intimidating, but they're also... I don't know, they kind of remind me of a big silly dog.
Yeah, I do love shoebills.
When they're moving around, they just look really goofy.
Oh my gosh, they can be 3.5 to 5 feet tall.
Oh my... 5 feet?
5 feet tall. That is...
Running at you making machine gun sounds.
Yeah. That is
them.
madness.
They do... They're big, goofy guys.
Yeah, I love them. They just look so scraggly. They look like puppets. They don't
do, yeah.
Like something that is real. I love them.
That's so funny. It's like spoonbills as well. I think they're more terrifying.
Oh.
Oh no, they're not the terrifying ones, but they are very funny looking.
Yeah. They look like
are funny.
Like the shoe horn things.
Yeah, they do. You
to help your feet in. But if one of those
shoes on.
had a baby with a flamingo.
God, there's a picture of one of them on Google that's got its wed sprung. Wings spread. And it just looks, you can tell it was a dinosaur. God damn.
Oh,
holy crap. It's so dinosaur-y.
Birds are fascinating.
Terrifying. Birds are so cool.
But I also I respect birds and I fear them all in a way.
Mm. They're unpredictable. They know what they want.
I love them.
And it's blood.
Birds only want one thing. Destruction.
Armageddon.
But yeah, how did the dream begin? I've already forgotten.
You had magic. You had magic,
yeah.
And did you light a fire or light a candle?
I lit a match, which doesn't sound very impressive, but I lit it with my mind.
Ooh.
And it was like, so I remember it being like such a tiny little, you know when like a match is about to burn out and it's just like a little ember, like it's not really a flame, but there's like the little orange ember there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luke came along and was like, wow, and it just blew out immediately.
Oh no.
I was like, oh. But I remember freezing the door and I was like, this is so cool. I have magic. And it felt so real. I was like, this is amazing. I am magical. Like
magical.
Grand. I wonder if it's to do with because I got my first ever, I signed up to a witchy subscription box. So I
now
guess
you're magical.
I'm magical.
Magical girl.
So I wonder if that was it, that I was just thinking about being magic.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know why The Rock was there.
Because you always have to have a celebrity cameo.
It's true, and a wrestler, so I just combined the two.
Yeah, them's the rules. You're just saving time.
Yeah.
By having 2 for 1.
How long would the dream be if I hadn't? Jeez. I don't know why I would have thought about like, I mean, I have never smoked.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think I was thinking about smoking recently. Not, I wasn't considering taking it up or anything. But I just remember, like, it's one of those things that is used a lot in films and TV and I guess games. I was complaining the other day about the elusive man in Mass Effect 2.
Oh, yeah.
How just the delay on him having a voice line because he's smoking.
He's smoking,
and I'm just like, come on, just say your line. Don't stretch this out. And like, I saw someone the other day. I was walking around the river near where I live, and there was someone who was just sat looking out at the river and just smoking. And I was like, they look very... Okay, I'll start this by saying I don't endorse smoking at all. Like, I hate it. But there are times when you see people do it and you're like, they make it look cool. And I was like... And I think I was just trying to imagine, like, what would it actually be like? Imagine if I was a smoker. Would I be really cool? Would I look cool? And I'm like, no. I'm asthmatic. I would
be having a coughing fit.
And I would be constantly panicking about, like, just doing something that you know is so bad for you just seems like anxiety nightmare. But but yeah, I guess that was probably why I was thinking about it. I haven't been thinking about turning 13 and becoming a man recently, though, so fair. Don't know why the bar mitzvah thing was there.
Did you watch any Frasier before that? Like, the episode before, maybe they mentioned it was going to happen or something?
No, it just came out of nowhere. And, like, Freddie is very rarely in it, so there's not really... Yeah, I genuinely don't know. It's just an odd one. But, like, I don't know. It's been an odd one.
We don't know. We're stumped.
The only thing I can think of is... so my brother-in-law is Jewish, and so my nephew, I guess I don't know if there's a plan for him to eventually have a bar mitzvah, but that's the only connection I can think to why I would have been... Because I guess I think about my nephew, but I never really think about, like, oh, when he's older. Like, so I don't know, but that's the only...
Yeah, maybe it was just one of those things, like the brain just went through the old memory banks and was like, pick a thing for today.
Yeah.
Beep, bar mitzvah.
Slowly working our way through. And then the gangsters. The gangsters, I think, is because we recently did a Minecraft Gartic where one of the builds, someone chose The Sopranos. We had to do like a TV show.
Okay.
And someone chose Sopranos. So I've never seen The Sopranos. I imagine that it is mostly people throwing baskets of small animals at each other.
It does have animals in it.
Well,
Tony loves his animals. He doesn't have any tiny horses. He does get a horse eventually.
How small?
The Sopranos is such a good show. Quite a big horse. It's a big, like, race horse. I can't remember what they're called, though. But yeah. But no, there's lots of animals. There's ducks. There's horses. At one point, a fish talks to Tony.
Oh,
it's a wild show. It's so good, so good. I want to watch it again.
Well, all I know about it, I know from Gartic that he has therapy.
He does go to therapy. Yeah, that's a big part of it.
The first build or the prompt, I can't remember.
Tony at therapy,
and I know, but I don't know why. Gabagool.
Gabagool. He just likes gabagool. That's another thing that's in it so much. Food. It's animals and food.
That's all. Literally,
because
all
they're
I
Italian.
know.
Like, it really centers around like the whole family dynamic, and there's always like, oh, I bought you some ziti, and we ran out of gabagool. And like their little hangout spot is, I think it's near like a butcher's and stuff. Like, there's just lots of food and references to food and stuff.
Yeah.
And then also murder and
just
crime.
a little bit of murder and crime.
Just a little bit.
Just a dabbling.
What a good show, though. My God, so good.
I think my main takeaway from the dream, though, was the beach section. Like,
yeah.
I guess because, have you seen that thing that went around recently of someone in a cinema and they're riding around on a fake dune worm and it's like motorized? It that was the thing that I was trying to describe in my dream. Was it's basically like a big tube but like motorized, and they're just like going around on it pretending. But yeah, they just rocked up on that and disturbed my time with their Shoebills and their worm. And then Ben turned up. I mean, I do like to do a lot of reading. That part is true.
You have been known to do a bit of reading.
I can read. Not many people know this. But I have been thinking about, because I'm going on holiday next week, actually. And I will be on holiday when this episode goes out, in fact. So I might be reading on the beach right now as you listen to this. But I have been thinking about one of the things I would like to do is read on the beach. So there's no mystery as to why I was thinking about that. But I don't think there's any Shoebills in Cornwall. So I don't think I have to worry about them so much.
No, yeah, I don't think they have many Shoebills. Thinking about it,
Mostly
maybe
seagulls.
hiding every now and then.
Yeah.
The beaches in Cornwall are very lovely. It's such a nice place.
Yeah, I'm so excited to go.
When I went a little bit further away than you. I went to Perranporth, and the beach was so nice. Like, it was just very big and flat, obviously. And when the tide went out, that we had one day where it was so misty, it was just like Silent Hill. Like, you couldn't see the ocean.
Oh, geez.
And it was just mist, and it was crazy. It was so cool. And like they had all the big cliffs there, and they have little caves in the cliffs, and there's just like quartz or calcite everywhere. It's so cool, so nice.
Aww.
Really lovely.
I found myself doing that thing of like I'm going on holiday for like 5 days. So the end days are travel days. So I have to make the most of the 3 days. So I'm going to go here on this day and here on this day and here. And I'm just like, it's a holiday. Just relax.
Yeah.
Just like see where the day takes you instead. Like, all I know is I want to go to the Witchcraft Museum because that's the main reason we're going to that area. But other than that, it's just going to be vibing.
Yeah, just have a nice time.
Yeah.
It will be cute. I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, maybe I'll have some nice dreams.
Ooh,
I'm going to go to one of Merlin's caves. Apparently he was a multiple homeowner, Merlin. He had many caves, but we're going to one of them. I don't know if it was his main cave or his holiday cave, but...
Yeah, it's a side cave. Timeshare.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know much about, like, Arthurian folklore, to be honest. It's not really my area. So I was thinking, I should try and read up about it a bit before I go, but I've already planned my holiday reading and it's not that, so I'm just going to have to learn on the go.
just watch some YouTube videos on the way. I found quite a good YouTube channel that talks a lot about folklore and stuff.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure they had one on Arthurian legends, so I'll send it over.
Nice. Just download knowledge into my brain.
Yeah, exactly. I know Kung Fu.
It feels like such a big dream, but also not a mysterious dream at all. It feels like it was just my brain organizing things.
Yeah, it was very much like, this happened, this happened, this happened. There's an animal. Now I'm playing the piano, and the rock is here.
I remember Joe turning up in a car, but I've been playing a lot of Dota, and Joe plays Dota, and I sometimes watch Joe's Dota streams, so I guess...
Yeah, that's it.
Joe being with a party of people isn't that mysterious either.
I think we both often just dream about people, in the network that we just talk to, or, even if we don't talk to them every day, we still hear about them every day, or are in Discords with them. And so they're always there, in the back of our mind. So they're always going to show up, I think.
Well, I guess with Ben, I recently recorded a members video for the Games Night channel with Ben, and it came out, and so I guess I've just been thinking about that, because it's one of those things that when it's a members thing, and it's sort of good that you can't read the comments, but also you really want to read the comments.
The thing is, generally the comments on members' videos are very nice because people are paying to be there. So you can't just have people like drive by, leave a horrible comment and leave.
Yeah. And I said to Alex, like, oh, was it well received? And he was like, yeah, people seem to like it. I was like, oh, what sort of things did they say? And he was like, you have to buy a membership. I was like, you're going to make me buy a membership.
Wow.
just to read comments about myself.
We just get Nazi to do it. Nazi's the one who's a member. We're like, Nazi, that members video that came out, let's have a look at the comments.
Because I guess it is one of those things that like reading comments about yourself, I guess I could see how people would think that it would be quite egotistical sort of thing. But at the same time, it's just human to want feedback, I think. It's very difficult when you record something and it gets sent out into the void and you don't know how it was received.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing with like a lot of streaming and recording and content creation in general is you're just like, you don't really know everything you send out. You're just like, I don't know. I don't know if people like this. I don't know how it's going to go down. And
yeah, like when you go to look at the comments, you're not necessarily looking for bad comments. Like it's nice to just get feedback and see if people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's nice to just be like, oh, I really enjoyed the series. I hope they do more. Like it's like, good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad.
That's nice.
That's nice.
It is very easy to let negative comments affect you. I had that recently where with TTT, if people comment about me and they're just like, Brenny, I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, I don't mind. But someone had done a comment saying that I brought you down when I was in TTT. And that made me so sad because I was genuinely thinking like, I should step away.
You should have sent it to me. I would have gone off.
I was like, when I got asked to do the latest recording, I was thinking I shouldn't do it because I don't want people to not like Kirsty because of me.
Never. I would rather hang out with you than have people like me. I would have popped off if I saw that comment. Listen here, you little shit.
But it's one of those things, isn't it? That like, if people say stuff about you, you're like, man, suck it. But then if they say stuff about your friends, it's like, whoa, okay, no, we're throwing hands now.
Don't you talk about my friend like that. Yeah, I have that, absolutely. Oh dear.
I go from like Labrador to Chihuahua, depending on the context of the comment.
I want to find that comment now. I'm going to throw hands.
The thing is though, like, I know that it's like bad to talk about bad comments because you don't want to give them the attention, and that's why I would never like screenshot and post a comment, because I think like,
yeah, that's just drawing too much attention to
it, you should like reward the positive. Treat chat like a puppy.
You leave a good comment, you get a treat.
Yeah. But it's also like the thing of, I don't know, I guess I don't really get the, like, maybe it's just different outlooks, but I would always rather leave a positive comment. Like, say I watch a video and there's 5 people in it and I cannot stand one of them. I wouldn't be like, can't stand you. I'd be like, yay, blah, blah, blah's in this. I love them. Like, it's just so easy to fill that space with a positive thing instead of a negative thing, and I just
absolutely
don't get it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I complain a lot about a lot of stupid things. I'm not.
She's such a complainer, guy. She never shuts up.
I mean, I did spend part of this complaining that they have changed my favorite character on Dota, but yeah, I think but like, that character doesn't exist. He's not going to actually know. Whereas when it's real people who can very much read real comments, I think it's different.
Yeah. I think it's just better, like, mentally to be able to just take a positive from, something. Like, even just little things like you're watching a video and, there's someone you don't like in it. It's like, just focus on the things you did like, just, and just, or if you don't like it, don't watch it. And then you'll feel better.
It's like when people come into chat and they're like, I hate this game. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn on the setting where you could leave. Oh no, I didn't. You can leave.
I have called out people in chat before that have done that. Like, I've been playing a game and someone's come back in and been like, oh, you're still playing this? People leave. And I'm like, yeah, you don't have to be here. Just leave. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, just, what is your thought process? Just go if you don't like it. I'm not forcing you to be here.
I guess that is the thing where, like, I think a lot of the things that people say, it's like when someone's watching you and they're just like, oh my God, it's so frustrating. They're not actually having a bad time because otherwise they wouldn't be there. But I think it's just, there's a certain, like, I don't know whether it's like the way that internet and social media and like that sort of stuff has gone that we're taught to just vocalize every thought.
Everything, yeah.
So people do it without thinking like, oh, how would it feel to be on the receiving end of this? Or if it is just part of the culture of like, oh, this is so frustrating, but I'm just voicing this. Like, I don't know. Because, like, if I've ever been watching, like, I got quite naughty with it when PlayTub first came out, and I would watch people's PlayTub streams, and I'd be there, like, I wonder if they know that they can do this. I wonder if they... And I was just like, no, I'm going to sit back. I'm not going to type. I'm going to behave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the amount of times I've, like, written out a little, like, oh, did you know you could... And then I'm like, no, do it. Just forget it. They'll find out. Oh, dear. Yeah. Yeah, it can be difficult. It's like you said, like sometimes people just don't think about the person on the receiving end of it because even just like the small things. It's like I'm playing Bloodborne at the moment. I'm just about to finish it. And Souls-likes are just notorious for people backseating. And my chat have been very, very good with this one.
Yeah.
But you do still get people in that are like, oh, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? Or if you go this way, you can do this. And it's just like, calm down. Like, now I'm at the end, like people are saying, oh, there is quite a lot that you've missed because a lot of the game, like a third of the game is optional. Do you want us to tell you where it is? And I was like, honestly, probably not, because that would just be chat barking orders at me and me going, oh, do I have to go here? Oh, do I have to go here? Do I have to go here? And the any sort of natural discovery would be gone at that point. It would be like a checklist. So I was like, I'm just going to beat the final boss, guys. That way we can just move on with our lives and you don't have to get mad that I've missed anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just hard to strike that balance, like, because we've both been on the other side where it's like, please, I want them to do this. This is my favorite part of the game. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. But it's that feeling of like when someone says, "Oh, let's watch this film together. I love this film," and then they watch you instead of the film, and you're just bracing for reaction the whole time, and it ruins the film. Like I was joking that I was going to do to you with your name. I feel because some people like they come into chat and they say something like, "Oh, no spoilers, but is she ready for what happens next?" And it immediately puts you on edge because you're like, "Oh, what's going to happen? Could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this?" And even though they've not spoiled it, you
know something's going to happen.
Yeah, it changes your experience
Zoe's had that
of it.
With Final Fantasy, like Zoe has like actively said to chat, like, you know, if something's going to happen, please try and avoid coming in and being like, "Oh, I remember this bit," or "Oh, I cried here," or smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. You know, because even just small things like that make you think something's going to go tits up. Shit's going to hit the fan right now. And you're ready for it.
And I think also as someone who I don't know if I'm very good with like a lot of the time people expect emotional reactions from me if something's really sad, and I'm quite stoic when I stream. And I feel bad when it feels like, oh, there's this expectation of something really heartbreaking is going to happen, and I'm just sat there like, is this sad? Okay. Oh, no.
Oh no. See, if I was playing on my own and like I watch people stream and I'll cry, like I've cried so many times watching Zoe do Final Fantasy. But when I'm streaming on my channel, sometimes I'll cry. I was absolutely bawling at the end of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will cry, but other times I will just nervous laugh because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like if people say something serious to me, I'm like, ah! And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. But I'm just nervous. I don't know how to react to this.
Yeah, it's like I remember there was a time in real life where my friend came over to me. We were waiting for another one of our friends, and they turned up and they were like, "Oh my god, he's been in a car accident!" And I burst out laughing because I was like, "I don't know. I'm not equipped to react to this." So I was just like, I was like, "Oh no, is he okay?" He's fine.
Oh my god. Yeah, see, that's how I always react, and I don't know what it is, but my brain has just been wired to try and diffuse situations all the time. It's about being the people pleaser, I think. It's just like, if something seems serious or, I'm immediately like, haha, look at this funny thing. Haha, make silly joke.
Yeah.
And I do that when I'm streaming. Even like, there's no one there to please. They just want to watch me and like enjoy the story. And I'm like, haha, it's serious. Haha, this is talk about ass. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, you really got to train yourself out of it. Even when there's a clip I have to show you when you finish Mass Effect 3, right? I won't spoil anything, but I was absolutely sobbing at the end of this, like my final stream. And Gareth said something. And then I made a quip. I just made a sex joke. I just made a dirty sex joke in the middle of just like sobbing, tears running down my face. I was like, I'm distraught, but also, sex.
Yeah. It's just like
so hard.
I think, yeah, it is just that thing of like, I don't know whether it's to do with like not opening up fully, like having that defense mechanism in place if you're in a vulnerable place on a stream or something. I don't know if there's like if it's that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always default to laughing, and it's really hard for me not to. Like it's like one of those things, like I've noticed that I do my silly voice all the time. When I'm talking to people, I always put on a silly voice and I never talk candidly. And I think as a result, people think that I'm like just silly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm trying to be serious, but I can't talk serious. I have to talk like this.
Do you know, I think I've picked that up from you so much because I find myself doing it and I'm like, did I do this before I knew Kirsty?
Rydian does too. Rydian always does it.
It's like I find myself being like, oh my god.
Oh my god. And Nilesy as well. I think me and Nilesy both got it off of each other.
Yeah.
So just everyone on our Discord now is just like, oh my god, what the frick?
Me when I deflect.
Me when I deflect. Me when I hide my emotions.
Show emotion challenge, impossible.
Oh dear.
Oh jeez. But yeah, I don't know, it is difficult. But I feel like I do feel very emotionally drained at the end of Mass Effect streams at the moment.
Oh, you got a big storm coming. Are you on 3 now?
No, I'm still on 2.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, wee wah. Have fun, girl. 3 is gonna destroy you.
I think like one of the things I get told off for is not taking in all of the dialogue. But like, it's because I'm streaming.
Yeah, it's hard to when you're streaming, for sure.
Like, someone will be like, go over and talk to Flibbit about the who's a what's it. And I'll be like, okay, Flibbit, the who's a what's it. And I'll turn around and be like, what am I doing? Who's it?
Oh.
And then there'll be a dialogue option just like, we have to talk about the who's a what's it. And I'm like, what's that? Why would I do that?
The what? It's like I play through these games. We need to end soon, but I'll keep talking. When people say like, oh, what's your favorite game of all time? I really struggle to pick a game that I've played once, because even if I've played it and I've enjoyed it so much, like Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect, I had such a good time playing those games, but I don't put them in like my top 5 because I find that I get that where I've done these things, but I just forget. I just know that I've had a really good time playing them, but I forget half of the story.
Yeah.
And it all just falls out of my brain. Whereas games that I would put in like my top 5, I might not have played them for years, but because I played them so much and so many times, everything just stays there. And I'm like, I can recount everything that happens in this game, and I love it so much. I remember everything. And so I feel like I don't deserve to put stuff like Mass Effect in my top 5 because people ask me a question. It's like you said about Samara the other day, and I was like, who? Huh? And then I looked at a picture, I was like, oh, that one, yeah. I completely forgot that she exists.
It's still valid though, because I have like books that I would describe as being like my favorite books, but I don't really remember much about them, but reading them was my favorite experience sort of thing. It's like because of the One Day TV series came out recently, and One Day I absolutely loved it, but people would be like, oh, was this in the book? And I'm like, I don't know. But reading it,
as soon as I finish it,
amazing.
It all falls out. I just know I had a good time.
Whereas Alex will be like, he watched Mad Men once and he'd be like, oh, do you remember that bit in like series 2 episode 3 where he says this and this? And I'm just like,
that's
I don't
what
remember that
Rivian's
being
like.
a character. I remember at one point in Mad Men, someone gets their foot run over with a lawnmower, and that's it.
That's
because I found it so funny.
Yeah.
The rest of it.
That's exactly what Rivian's like. He can just reel off this information, and I'm like, how the hell do you absorb all of this and just keep it there? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like in like Final Fantasy, there's a raid series, Alexander, where everything is pretty much the same. But I'm like, oh, I'm in the one with the thing, and he's like, oh yeah, that's the fifth one. That's Fist of the whatever, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
How do you retain this information?
It's like even with like, I absolutely love Greek mythology, but there are so many names. So I'll be like, oh, I really love that story where there's like this person and this other person, and they go and they do this thing and they meet the other thing. And I'm just like, I love it.
Do you find as well that if I try to recount something, I know the facts, I know what I'm saying, but I'm like, was that the name? But I know it's the name. But I'm like, was that the name? So I'm like, I don't want to say the name. So I just come across as not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. But I do know, but my brain's just like, don't say it. Don't say it because it will be wrong.
I do
it's
that.
The same with birthdays. Like, I'm like, I know for a fact that somebody's birthday is on this day, but I don't want to say happy birthday to them because there's that minute chance they will turn around and say, it's not my birthday. I'm like, oh.
I always
even when people are
check.
saying happy birthday to someone, they're actively like, happy birthday. I'm like, I can't say it because it might be a joke. It might be wrong.
Yeah. No, I get that. It's like there are times when like I'll be like, I'm pretty sure like I know what I'm saying is true, but I'll just be like, but I'll word it in a way that's like, oh, maybe this happened, but I could be wrong. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's like signing off an email with, no worries if not.
Yeah. Sorry to bother you. 5 exclamation marks. Dear, oh dear.
Oh dear.
It's like the number of times that I've been like a little bit miffed because I'm like, I told this person that I wanted this and then it didn't happen, and then I'll go back and read my message and it'll be like, haha, maybe we could do this, but maybe not. I don't know, whatever. No, let's not do it. And I'm like,
don't worry about it.
But in my head, I was like, I want this. This will happen. And then I'm like, no, I genuinely, I backed out of it myself 3 times during the sentence.
Myself completely out of it. Oh dear.
Dear, oh dear. Well, it's time for us to run away.
Goodbye.
Back into our pit. Our sleep pit where we have dreams.
Hope you enjoyed the episode. No worries if not.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
Kind regards, Kirsty and Bryony. Well, it's been lovely chatting to you.
It's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much, my love.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.